you want to do some team building real quick?
Sure. Which one are we building on?
Okay, pick a tier.
And I'm going to pick UU.
Okay, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start with a physical offensive threat. What in UU, just skim through until you see something that you like. What do you think you would like to use to just kill people physically?
Cloister.
Okay, sure, we can do Cloister. Where on earth is Cloister? I do not see it. There it is. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna grab Cloister. We're gonna do the typical thing. We're gonna give it skill link. I'm really tempted to give it weakness policy, but it might be better to give it sash.
We're giving it a sash.
Yeah, let's go sash. You could also obviously do white herb, but honestly, you don't technically need to. So obviously we're gonna give it icicle spear just immediately because it needs it. You might as well give it rock blast because that's not bad coverage at all. Now at this point, the other two moves are kind of up to your choice. I kind of like running razor shell purely because having a water attack at all is pretty good. But obviously your last move is going to be shell smash.
Explosion!
You can run explosion. I'm not sure I would, and one of the most run moves on this on this sort of cloister is actually ice shard. And the reason for that is pretty obvious if you think about it. It's like if you run into something else that's sashed and it's faster than you, you want to be able to kill it.
Okay.
So, you want to do ice shard or do you want to do explosion?
I'll go with ice shard.
Cool. It makes a lot of sense in this kind of thing because even though it does increase the speed, cloister speed is not really all that high. We're gonna go adamant here because you kind of need the max attack.
Yeah.
Like 95 is not bad, but it's not really great. So we're gonna give it max attack, obviously. I think we might as well put the bulk of the rest in speed, primarily because we're running a sash anyway. And then 4, just slap it in special defense on the off chance that you'll randomly live a special hit, because your defense is already quite bulky and your HP should already be random.
So
Sorry,
basically click what says fast physical sweeper.
Has it done the same way as me? Special defense? Yeah, it's done the same way as me. Cool. I don't really normally read them because they're not often the same. Okay, so that's your physical attacker. Cool. All right.
I prefer as a wall before cloister, but it doesn't matter.
No. Listen, you do like I forget to do this often. Do walls afterwards because you want your walls to resist what your attackers are bad against. Because usually you're going to be stuck in a situation where you want to switch your attacker out. So you need your wall to resist whatever your attacker is weak to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, like I usually forget that as well. So let's go for a special threat now as well. Cloister is a setup type, so for your special threat, something that can just hit hard and fast without really having to set up is probably a good idea. So something that's specs or just in general quite hard hitting is probably a good idea. Hold up a sec, I'm not in UU for some reason. There we go. So have a quick skim. Preferably you don't want any type overlaps, so avoid water, and for the love of God, avoid ice. Like, I'm kind of looking at Nidoking. Because Nidoking resists electric, which Cloister is weak to, resists fighting, which Cloister is weak to.
Grass.
And, well, you know the various... Well, no, grass is neutral to Nidoking. But you know the various reasons why using a Nidoking is good.
Ooh.
The only thing is, it's still kind of slow, so you might have to scarf it, and that does kind of ruin its impact a little bit. Although, like, Timid is still quite quick, but at base 85 is not the fastest. Also, something I like running, special Salamence, not Mega, it's just regular. Is often catches people off guard because they go into their Salamence check and then they just get wrecked by like a freaking Hydro Pump or something. What else is down here? Nah, let's save that for something else because there's a type overlap. So I'm just looking at Slowking, and he's slow as fuck anyway, so he's more of a bulky attacker, which I'll get into later.
I like Entei.
Entei, where the fuck is Entei? There he is. Okay, as a special attacker, you sure? You are aware that Sacred Fire is physical, right?
I meant as a physical attacker, but
You can come back to that later. You need to grab a you need a special attacker, because if you don't round your offense a little bit, you're gonna have trouble. So this is just a example session, if you know what I mean. Like, you can choose to go all physical or all special if you want, but usually this is a good way to start, and then later on you might decide whether you want to cut things based on preference. Actually, I'll tell you what might be really good here is Gudra.
I was tempted to. Well, I was thinking about this one, but what about Jan Mega?
I'll look at Jan Mega now. The reason I was looking at Gudra is Cloister's base defense is really high, which means you could, if you wanted to, bring him in on a physical hit in order to get all set up. Gudra's special defense is really high, which means you can bring her it in on a special attack. And I was just thinking about Scarfed Gudra, which sounds disgusting. Because its base speed is 80, which is more or less the same as Darmanitan's. And its special attack is nothing to sniff at, 110. Alright, let me have a quick look. Where are you looking? Jan Mega is in BL2. There he is. Okay, you are sharing a weakness here of rock and electric. Just bear that in mind. You want to run this, yeah? It doesn't matter too much if your attackers share weaknesses, as long as your walls deal with them.
What else is there?
Well, I did just say Gudra, and I do quite like Gudra. Espeon's also down here, which I'm sure you quite like. Goddamn Hydreigon. Hydreigon's not bad, actually.
I don't like Hydreigon.
Really?
I generally tend to avoid anything that evolves after level 50.
Yeah, I really quite liked him. Hail Hydra. Anyway,
that's what I call mine, like way back. And everyone's like,
you can run. You can run. You can run Infernape as a special attacker. Actually, Lucario's down here, and Lucario's a special attacker is really good.
I do like Lucario.
All right, let's grab Lucario for a second. Do a quick check. I think, yeah, Justified is the sneaky thing to do, because if you switch it in on a Dark type move, it'll take practically nothing. Oh, that's attack now.
I'd say Inner Focus.
Yeah, it has to be Inner Focus. That means that you can catch out
Fake Out.
Well, to be fair, they're not going to be preferring to fire Fake Outs at you anyway because resist it, but yeah, it's probably still worth it. There's no point in running Justified purely because you're not running physical moves, unless you want to use it to scare people and trick them. Which you could do, but it would only work once, obviously. Okay, so now the question is, what kind of special attacker do you want it to be? Honestly, I would be very tempted to Scarf Lucario, because he's very frail, but he hits pretty damn hard. So if you were to go Timid, max speed, max special attack, put the rest in, I don't know, Spadef, and then give it a Choice Scarf. Let me have a quick look at how fast that clocks in at. Over 450, yeah, that's pretty decent. That's going to be outspeeding a lot of shit. Basically, you can use this as your revenge killer. And you can give it, where is Aura Sphere? Aura Sphere and Flash Cannon, just for stab. And then, the thing is, you could run Calm Mind on Lucario, but you've already got a setup on, and like I said, Lucario is quite frail, so that's a bit risky.
I got Flash Cannon and Aura Spear already on it.
Might give it Dark Pulse. Is there any reason to run Dragon Pulse here? Let me have a look. You can give it Psychic, you can give it Shadow Ball. Okay, I think Shadow Ball's a bit better than Dark Pulse here, because the only time you take Dark Pulse over Shadow Ball is if you're worried about normal types coming in and just taking nothing. But otherwise, Shadow Ball has technically slightly better coverage. It has the same super effective hits as Dark does, but it hits more things with the exception of normal. But because you've got Aura Sphere anyway, a normal type can't safely switch in on you without freaking getting annihilated. So yeah, Shadow Ball's a good coverage move there. I'm actually kind of thinking about Psychic.
Well, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, very...
Like, how does it get Psychic?
Very often... the other two moves I was thinking of were, aside from Hidden Powers, which I only go to if you need it for coverage, were Dragon Pulse and Psychic. Dragon Pulse I mean, it does have a lot of neutral coverage and it does wreck dragons, which is pretty good. The other one's Psychic. I think you might need Psychic purely because of poison types. Yeah, I think Psychic's probably the best here. You can go back and switch it if you need to. So, I'm assuming you've got him set up as timid with max special attack, max speed, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so this is your revenge killer. So when something of yours goes down, you bring this guy in to clean up if your target is, like, if it's damaged, preferably if it's 50% or below. Just bring in Lucario to either threaten it out and do massive damage to something else, or just clean it up. Okay, now we're thinking about walls. So what, you got any common weaknesses here? Thankfully I don't really see any. Cloister's weak to quite a lot, unfortunately. Cloister's weak to rock. Fighting, okay, you got a fighting weakness. I would grab a ghost if you could. Ooh, do you want to run a bulky chandelier?
It sounds odd.
It's not. Have you not seen the bulky chandelier set?
No.
Alright, I'm going to grab chandelier and I'm going to run it through it with you. So I'm going to give it... Kind of tempted to give a flame body, but considering I'm going to be giving it will-o-wisp anyway, it might be a bit redundant.
Infiltrator?
Yeah, infiltrate is probably still the better here. Okay, so item leftovers. Max 8, 248 HP is what I normally run here because I like to keep it uneven, especially for anything that's weak to rocks, and he's 1 times weak to rock. And let's go. Yeah, let's go max defense. And not impish. What's the other one? Bold? Yeah, bold. And then slap the 8 in Spadef just so it can take a hit there as well. So its physical defense does only hit 306, which is not really all that high. But the main advantage here is that it's a ghost, which means your opponents kind of need to be worrying about you switching it in on rapid spinners, on fighting moves, anything like that. And the trick then, you actually... Is it worth running Flash Fire then for the extra immunity? I think it is, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's worth running Flash Fire for the extra immunity, because you want as many chances as possible to switch in the Chandelier, and you want your opponent to be worrying about it. The reason you do have to make it bulky is because it's all well and good for your opponent to worry about it, but if they're in a situation where they have to sack something off anyway, and they have to fire something off, and you have to switch into the Chandelier, you need to be able to take that hit. So, this Chandelier is definitely going to have Will-O-Wisp. I would be very tempted to give it Pain Split, and I think I will.
Okay.
Because I'm a dick. Offensive move... might just give it... See, the problem with Shadow Ball, obviously, is that if they bring in a normal type, they're going to take literally nothing. But I don't think that'll matter with a wall. Particularly if you've got Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split as well.
Flamethrower?
You've already got the Will-O-Wisp. Don't want too many moves to bait out Flash Fires. Do you want to run Flamethrower? Let me think.
Yeah, but it's not Flash Fire. If it gets hit by a fire type move, any fire moves are pumped.
Is it only fire? Let me check. Fire attacks do... Oh. Yes, okay. I thought it was just a special attack boost. I would give it Overheat. Because if you need to use a fire move on it, you want to be doing as much damage as possible, and you're probably not going to be firing it for very long. Because if you're staying in on something for ages, you're probably Will-O-Wisping it and then Pain Splitting it and forcing it to go down with you. Now, I would be tempted to give it an Energy Ball, but I'm wondering... I'm very tempted to swap Overheat back to Flamethrower because of Calm Mind. Because you patch your special defense, and then you're really, really annoyingly difficult to shift.
It has no Protect.
You really like running Protect on the defensive mons, don't you?
I know.
How fast is it? 80. That's not bad for a wall. I'm just wondering whether Taunt is worth it. Because then it just straight up beats other walls.
I like the fact it gets Clear Smog.
What is the recommended set on Chandelier? I don't use Chandelier that often, so as I said, it's not really clear in my head. And Energy Ball is another one that's skimming out to me. You know what? Let's go for fun here. Let's give it. No, the 5 extra is not worth it. Let's give it Flamethrower. I was looking at Heatwave, and let's give it Calm Mind.
Yep.
And what I'm thinking is now the only issue is that flash fire bait now, which means that you will have to switch out if something immune to fire comes out. Like if someone has a Heatran in UU, totally. Or you know, if someone has another Chandler, it's gonna wall you. That's still pretty tempting though, because you're gonna be switching in for physical hits. So that's fine. It's not really built to take on other special attackers anyway. And the point of Calm Mind is to patch its defense, its special defense, so that it's got decent defenses all around, and to give it a chance to sweep late game if your opponent has almost nothing left. Because between Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, and Calm Mind, yeah, that's going to be a massive pain in the ass. Okay, actually, will I tell you about something funny I was setting up earlier? I was setting up a Spirit Tomb because I was trying to figure out a set I wanted to run, and I figured out a set I really wanted to run. Max defense, max special defense, 4 in special attack, Pain Split. Think about how low its base HP is. Yep, that's filthy. A positive defense nature with negative attack, I think it was, and Dark Pulse, Calm Mind, Pain Split, and I can't remember the last one. I think it was Will-O-Wisp. So basically, it's a setup.
That's pretty good.
With leftovers. So I'm going to try that out at some point. I think I've got it on my team somewhere. Alright, so let's leave that Chandler alone for the moment, because that seems pretty good. Okay, now we've got a ground weakness. So we've got to do something about that. We also ideally have to do something about rocks.
Pity Skarmory's not in this.
Yep, but Skarmory is way too good, so that's not happening. So ideally we want something that can either set rocks or deal with rocks while being either resistant to or immune to ground. So the first thing that jumps to mind is Mandibuzz. Let's have a skim and see if there's anything else jumps out at me. It's not really a lot else because there's a reason ground is a big problem. The other option obviously is, say, fuck ground for the moment and just grab a Blissey, because that gives you rocks and a massive special wall, but I don't think it fits that well here. Empoleon's not bad, but the problem for it, you know, being weak to ground yet again. Gligar. Gligar does give you rocks, and Gligar does give you a way to get rid of rocks, but it's not really meant to be specially defensive. And you do kind of need a special wall. I'm thinking Mandibuzz, honestly. And if you put rocks on something else, it'll just be an afterthought at this point. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Mandibuzz. What do you think?
Yeah.
Alright, go grab a Mandibuzz. And I'm thinking Overcoat. Let's see. I'm gonna give it freaking... Is it Careful Nature? Yeah, Careful Nature. Max Special Defense. 248 HP. We're gonna end up with double leftovers here, but that should be fine. This is why I often like running a poison type as a wall, because I can run Black Sludge as well as leftovers. And just flat 4 into its defense. Alright, so the first move we're going to give it immediately is Defog. It needs Defog. For attack...
It's got 8 left.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 8 into defense, sorry. Because of the uneven HP. I honestly think Foul Play is a bit better than Brave Bird here. Especially considering the damage it does to itself. But I am looking at the fact that it gets Knockoff. And I think I just like that better. Because you're not going to be winning a lot of physical wars with the Mandibuzz anyway. So I'm thinking Knockoff. I'm thinking Roost. There's 3... Oh my god. All 4 of the bottom moves in its usable moves are kind of tempting. Now, I would normally go for U-turn here, but Taunt is not bad at all. Toxic is very useful, especially since you don't have anything... well, you've got Will-O-Wisp so far, but having Toxic as well is good. And Whirlwind. I wouldn't run Whirlwind purely because we don't have rocks yet. No point in running any other cards or subs or anything. Okay, so I'm thinking either Taunt, Toxic, U-turn. What do we want? Taunt might not be a bad idea here. But For initiative, I'm still thinking U-turn. I'll leave it up to you. Toxic U-turn. Preference. Awkward silence. Can you hear me?
I'm just thinking.
Cool. I thought the call dropped. It's all down to what situations you expect it to be dealing with. So don't forget this is your special wall, so you're going to be switching in on special attackers. And if you think that your opponent is going to switch out, U-turn is usually the best move. If you think your opponent's you're going to end up against people with calm minds or whatever, taunt is a good idea. And if you're particularly worried about rocks, which does quite a bit to your team so far, taunt is a good way to stop them from getting back up.
I'm gonna go with U-turn.
Okay.
Because it's slow.
Okay, for the next 2 mons, we need to avoid stealth rock weaknesses. Because while we don't have any double weaknesses, we have 3 rock weaknesses. And having a rock weakness on both your walls, I mean, I understand what might happen for utility, but we need stuff that resists rock.
Lucario resists them.
It does, yeah, but you don't really want to be switching Lucario in on a rock move either, because even if it does end up being the rock move, it's probably still not going to take it that well. Okay, so now for the last 2 slots, now this is down to what sort of team you want to run. You could run another 2 walls if you want to be an asshole. You could run another 2 attackers, and that's often what you do. You can run a couple of utility things like a Scarfer and maybe something that usually a hazard setter ends up separate from a wall, like a suicide lead. But what I quite like to do, I don't think we're going to do it this time considering what we have here, but what I quite like to do is have another 2 attackers, but that are bulky and slow. So their speed isn't very high, but their HP is maxed, and then their respective attack stat is maxed. So they can take a hit, but they can, like they're wall breakers basically, because they'll still end up being faster than those walls. And they usually end up being able to take out other fast things purely by being able to take a hit first.
We do not have a Mega.
We do not have a Mega. You can choose to run a Mega. I'm kind of looking at... I shouldn't be because it's right near the top. Ampharos. Aggron is also there, and that's a rock resistance, and you could run Stealth Rock on it. Let me have a look and see if there's anything else. There's also Swampert here. Does Swampert even get rocks? I feel like it does.
It does.
It does, yeah. You wouldn't normally use Mega Swampert for rocks, though. Any other relevant Megas down here? Our Mega Sceptile is awesome. Mega Sharpedo. Like I said, ideally we want things that resist rock at this point. I don't think we want another steel type, so we'll leave Aggron for now. If we were worried about rocks, actually, Absol might be a dirty trick. But we've already got a dark type, so that might not be the best of ideas. Because we'll start developing a real fighting weakness, because we've already got 2 mons weak to fighting. Because you will end up with common weaknesses with most teams, that's what's going to happen. Because you're sacrificing having a certain amount of weaknesses for utility, usually, normally. But you can normally get around it, so that's how it is. I would be really tempted by Mega Sceptile here. Because you don't have a ground type yet.
He does cover 2 weaknesses.
Only issue is that is a massive ice weakness. But we've got 2... no, we've got 3 ice resistances. Yeah, let's grab Mega Sceptile. Probably going to regret it. I'll grab it anyway. Make its base ability overgrow, because Unburden doesn't do anything here. I think we want a real wall breaker here. So we're going to make it modest. Because it's fast as fuck already. So, max special attack, max speed anyway, because its defenses aren't going to take much, let's be honest. 4 in, I guess, defense here. And, let's see. Now, you could run Leaf Storm on this thing, but I don't know whether you want to be forced to switch out with it immediately. So, Energy Ball might be better. Does it get Giga Drain? It does, yeah. Giga Drain is the move of choice here. Does it get Dragon Pulse? It does. Dragon Pulse is another good one. Let's have a quick skim. Because it gets really good physical moves as well, but unless you wanted to run a Rash Nature, or something like that, I don't know whether I'd run a Mixed Sceptile. Let me see.
Not if we want to be a real big wall breaker.
Let me see. Well, it wouldn't like weaken its wall breaking abilities. It would just make it slightly more fragile. Because you wouldn't change its spread. You would just change its nature. So instead of minus attack, it's minus special defense, and that's only just to make sure you don't accidentally miss knocking something out because you've minused your attack. But it does mean that you're more likely to go down to a decent hit. The only issue is that it doesn't really get a lot in the way of special attacks. You're going to have to run hidden power on it just to round out. It doesn't really get much in the way of setup stuff either, does it? And I wouldn't run synthesis on it purely because it's just... Like, if you have the opportunity to do that, you're probably going to lose all that health and more again. No point in running agility because it's already fast as fuck. Detect is maybe not a bad idea. Because you can use it to scout. And it means you can get your mega speed boost off. That's detect / protect, by the way. I think protect is the one you run purely because protect has more PP.
You could give it Leaf Storm.
I was thinking about that, but as I said, I don't know whether I want to give it to him purely because of the drop. Obviously, you know, the accuracy usually fucks me, but
What about Low Kick?
yeah, I'm really tempted to run it mixed. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's change that nature. Make it rash.
Yep.
And let's give it. I think Drain Punch is better than Low Kick, to be honest. Drain Punch, Earthquake. Let me have a look and see if there's anything else in here that's really good. I think you can give it Outrage. Yeah, you can give it Outrage if it's mixed. But I wouldn't run Outrage purely because you want your stab to be your special attack at the moment. Oh, it does get Thunder Punch. And Rock Slide.
Well,
Night Slash. Yeah, it gets a lot of physical moves. Let me have a quick look. I'm going to grab a type chart here.
Will I make it physical?
Hold up. No, there's no reason to make it physical. Mega Sceptile has so much special attack, there's no reason. One thing I would consider doing... Actually, is that worth it? Let me go look at its spread real quick, because it is fast as anything. 145 speed is ridiculous. So if I take the investment out, that's still over 300. Wow, okay. Now I'm really considering this. Because if you give it 252 attack as well... Oh, that's tempting. This is probably a bad idea, but you can make it a mixed attacker. And if you did that, I would be tempted to make it adamant, just to round out its attack a bit. Oh. Because then you could run Giga Drain and Outrage. Oh, this is such a bad idea, but I want to try it. Alright. This is how a lot of my team building sessions go. Because that brings its attack up to 350, which is pretty good.
It kind of went from, it's like, I'm gonna help you build it, to, you are now my guinea pig.
Yep. Well, sorry, but sometimes risky sets are really good as well. You've already got a Scarfer. Like, Lucario's going to be faster than your Mega Sceptile every time.
Also, I think you meant to say naughty.
Yeah, the nature is now naughty because I've given it plus attack. I meant to say rash before because I was giving it plus special attack.
Yeah, but you said to make it adamant. It was like, the what?
Oh, sorry, I said adamant as in move the plus. I associate adamant with being max attack. I keep forgetting about where the minus goes. So, let's see. If we want to do that, I would take the 4 out of defense and put it in speed.
I already did.
Just so you can add speed. Other Mega Sceptiles who are doing the same thing now. Okay, so let's go Outrage because this is too funny. Where's Outrage? There it is. Let's give it Giga Drain because those are the two best respective moves for there, I think. Really tempted to give it Drain Punch. It's draining move, so it can just keep coming in on hazards. Actually, yeah, that sounds really good. Give it Drain Punch as well. And I would give it one more special move, if we could. Is there anything to give it? Not Focus Blast. We might end up giving it another physical, honestly.
Earthquake? Because then it can completely switch in on electric types.
That's true. Except for Rotom. Although it shuts down Rotom Wash entirely anyway. Give it Earthquake for now. I'm going to do a quick skim and see if there's anything else here. Because most of its decent moves are physical, unfortunately. And I don't want to give it a hidden power purely because the base power is just way too low. And its coverage in physical moves is good enough that you shouldn't have to do that. I'm really bemused that it learns counter. feel like we're missing a good opportunity for coverage here. Let me have a look. I was opening a type chart before. I wanted to do a quick check and see if there's anything in here that I need to know. Okay, let's have a see. Grass. Okay, fire's an issue. Grass is an issue. Poison. Okay, so ground covers fire and poison, so we almost certainly have to run earthquake. Bug, dragon, steel. Yeah, earthquake and dragon. Earthquake and outrage cover those more or less. Unfortunately, drain punch doesn't really provide much in the way of coverage because it's not good against anything that. Well, I suppose I hit steel, but we hit steel with 2 moves now. I think it's still worth keeping though. I'm just wondering whether there's a special attack that I want to run more. Is there anything that walls us entirely currently? Grass types, funnily enough, are a problem. Flying types aren't great. Oh, flying. Ooh, we could run rock slide. Yeah, I'd be really tempted to run rock slide because we get the flinch chance. And it covers flying, and it covers, what was the other one? Bug.
Rock slide instead of lich.
Instead of drain punch, because it's not really giving us that much coverage. And we've already got Giga Drain for health recovery.
There we go.
Funny thing is, this Septa ends up with 1 special attack. That's very interesting. Okay, so that's our bizarre one done. I think what we need now is something like a ground type would be ideal. Something that resists rock, preferably, so you can switch on the rocks. And something that can set up its own rocks. I'm really tempted. I'm looking at Dawnfan, but it's only bulky in one respect. Means it goes down to other things. Is there any other good rock setters down here? I mean, Galvantula gets a web up, but we're looking at an interesting fire weakness. Though we do have the Chandelier with Flash Fire, so that'd be pretty funny. Because, you know, having some sort of hazards is a good idea. Mammoth Swine would be great, but that's a second ice type. And I think that's probably pushing your luck. Because you just got way too many ice weaknesses. I'm actually kind of looking at Nidoking again. Because you could run a mixed Nidoking with Stealth Rocks. That does give another ground weakness, though. We've got 2 ground weaknesses. No, but we've got a ground resistance and immunity. I'm thinking Nidoking.
What about Azelf?
Azelf does get levitate. Takes neutral damage from rocks. Yeah, alright, let's grab Azelf, try that out. So we're gonna give it Stealth Rocks, just immediately. Like we're not gonna set up its spread until we've decided what moves it gets first. I think we should just give this utility moves. So, is it odd that I'm tempted to make this Scarfed? I know Scarfed Rocks is a bit odd. Yeah, I'm actually tempted to make this Scarfed.
Give it Trick.
I'm actually not thinking Trick, I'm actually thinking Psychic Knockoff U-Turn Stealth Rock. Because it will force you to hard switch the first time you use Stealth Rock, but it'll guarantee that you get your rocks off in a lot of situations.
Stealth Rock up.
No, but we've already got a choice Scarf user. Don't listen to me, I'm freaking crazy.
Yeah. 2 leftover users.
Yeah, I know. That'll happen sometimes, depending on your walls. Item. If we want this thing to get rocks up, let me go look at its spread first, because I think we don't really care about how much damage it's actually doing, because it's not really meant for that. It's more utility. The Psychic is just there to be able to hit things if it needs to. So I'm gonna give it max speed. I actually might take Psychic off and give it Zen a Headbutt, just so we can give it a negative special attack nature. I'm also wondering whether we even need... yeah, we don't really need Psychic Stab, because it's not really intending on doing that. And that makes me really tempted to put Taunt on it. because you can run it as an anti-lead. Yeah, I think that's actually really good.
Jolly,
Basically, if you run it as a lead, if your opponent sends out something that's obviously either a wall or wants to get its stealth rocks up, you can taunt it and then you turn out. Yeah, you know, you can taunt it, set up your own rocks, and then you turn out. Yeah, no, I think taunt. I think taunt is good here. I think taunt, knock off, U-turn, stealth rock. Yeah. You can swap. You can swap out knock off for another move if you want to, because we do have a knockoff user. But I think it's better running him as utility right now.
Yeah, but do we give him?
I think we make him jolly, actually.
Jolly? Yeah, but we have a scarf on him.
No. Take the scarf off. I was only talking about it earlier, but we do have a scarfer, so that it was a bit mental. Like choice scarf taunt, Jesus.
Think you're getting that up? Nope.
Absolutely no chance. No, there's no reason to run expert belt here, is there? Is it weird that I'm tempted to have another freaking leftovers? Actually, you know what's probably not bad here? Eject button. I know you've never used it. Yeah. Max speed with eject button actually sounds really good. I put it this way. Turn 1, if your opponent looks like they're going to be just try and get a hit in, having eject button on your Azoth will mean that you get your rocks up and effectively a free U-turn. Now, granted, you won't be doing any damage with the U-turn, but yeah, that's still really good initiative.
Okay, will I try this out now?
Yeah, let's give it eject button. Okay, hang on. I've got to go look at its spread again. I think we need to give it max health. Yeah, we need to go 248 health. And then purely because we haven't really buffed anything else, let's give it 8 in attack just to up the chance it'll kill something, because upping the defense isn't going to help.